friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to talk to you about 1,000 Pieces of You and 10,000 Skies Above You by Claudia Gray. These are the first two books in the Firebird series. After reading these, I did immediately order the third this morning before I went to work, so I will be reading and reviewing that soon as well. But I wanted to talk about these while they're still fresh in my head. I originally read 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray last May. It took me 2 days to read and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars then. And I put 10,000 Skies Above You on my 10 books that I want to read this year list. And I went ahead and decided, okay, it's time for me to read that book. So I picked it up and then I was like, man, like how much do I actually remember of the first book? And I was like, yeah, not so much. So I decided to do a thing again and listen to them on audio. So I listened to the first book on audiobook, and again, absolutely deserving of 5 stars. This follows the story of Marguerite, as her mother and father are these like great scientists, and her father is killed and she thinks that one of her parents' proteges killed him. So she goes across different dimensions to hunt him down and kill him to exact revenge on her father. Of course, everything is not as it seems, but I love the time travel aspect. I love the characters of Paul and Theo. I like the different dimensions that she goes to, and I just really like everything about it. Like the setting is really cool. The characters, just the development of just everything. It's just so good. I love it so much. And I really enjoyed listening to it on audiobook. And I'm doing the thing where you read it simultaneously with the audiobook, so I just have it on set like 2 times speed and I read along with it, and that just like really helps me personally. But yeah, so absolutely loved it. So glad that I went back and did that, because I did forget a huge portion. One of the main settings in here is a Russiaverse, and I completely forgot all of that. And since, if you've read this book and you know how important that dimension is within this entire, these 2 books at least, yeah, I completely forgot about that and how important that was and what went down and stuff like that. But completely fast paced. I love the pacing of it. I just thought that everything was really great. But yeah, absolutely loved this. Definitely recommend. I enjoyed the audiobook as well. And since I'm not like a huge audiobook person, that's saying something. So liked the audiobook version, liked the story, 5 stars. Now, the second book, I can't tell you like too much about without spoiling the first book, but I do want to mention that this book I ended up rating 4 stars instead of 5 stars. The first main reason that I rated it 4 stars was, number 1, because of something that Jacqueline mentioned in one of her recent videos about tropes. She did her favorite and worst tropes. So I'm gonna have her video linked in the description box of this video, so you could check out her favorite and worst tropes, and she might explain it a little bit better than I would. But one of the things that she said in there, and I don't know if she named it this or not, I think she said that she named it this, but it's the Edward trope, where basically like maybe 2 people fall in love, or you know, whatever, and then in the second book they're separated. So it kind of has something to do with the Edward trope, where people come together in the first book and then in the second book they're separated. And so I think I like watched her video like midway reading this, and I was like, yeah, that's totally the trope in this second book. And of course that happened in the Twilight series. I think that's why she named it the Edward trope, but that happens in this book. So if you don't like that trope, that may be like a pet peeve going into this, but still great characters. The pacing was a little off for me because the majority of the book is dealing with that trope, trying to get like maybe 2 people back together. And then the other thing that really bothered me, like I said, is the pacing, because you're going through these different dimensions, and I love that. you're also getting more of the Firebird technology and how it actually works. And I find it so interesting, and it's so intricate, and it's so like well thought out. So I really liked that. But the pacing, it's just going along. You're going through different dimensions. You're trying to solve the main plot point in here, you know, to find this character. And then at the very end, I'm going to say like maybe the last 5 chapters, maybe the last 7 chapters, so much goes down in those last 7 to 5 chapters. It's just craziness, and it's almost like too much. I mean, this is it's over 400 pages. It's like 426 pages. So for that, the author had plenty of time to maybe extend it, to kind of slow it down a little bit. It was almost a little too frantic towards the end. Like you're just finding out thing after thing after thing after thing. And you're like, why couldn't I found that out a little bit more slowly? So it does get a little crazy, a little hectic at the end, but again, the characters, the setting, the world, like I said, she goes more into depth with different dimensions. She revisits dimensions, the Firebird technology, and just everything like that. So I really super enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. I only took off for those 2 things. Again, listen to this on audiobook, read alongside of the audiobook, and just really enjoyed it. I loved these so much that I definitely, like I said, I picked up the 3rd book this morning on Amazon before I went to work, just because I want it so bad, and I want to just like listen to it on audiobook and like do the same thing, because I've really enjoyed it that way. If you've read the series, please let me know. Let me know what you think of the characters. I mean, I adore Marguerite, Theo, and Paul. I have a soft spot in my heart for Theo, like so much. But let me know if you've read the series and what you think about it. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. It's kind of like, it is a time travel sci-fi book, but it also has like that contemporary feel as well. And I can't recommend this series enough. And like I said, I've only read the first 2 books. They do have twists and turns along the way. Like you think you know what's happening, but you really have no idea. And you just like, you don't even see it coming. So I can't wait to get my hands on the 3rd book, and like I want to read it like right away. But again, that's really all, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye.